Hey guys, welcome along. Thank you for stopping by at the on my channel. Please like and subscribe or dislike and tell me what you don't like. I've got a review here. It's a 32nd scale kit. It's something I found in my stash today. I've been off work the last few days, and I was off last week with a stomach issue, and now I've got a bloody stinking flu-like cold. So I was just going through my old stash today, and I came across this, and to be honest I don't even remember buying it. It's a 2009 kit from what I can see, and it's made by Encore Models, which I think is part of Squadron, by looking by the on the front of the box here. I don't think I've ever built a World War I kit, ever. I used to own a Wingnut Wings Gotha and sold it and regret it, and now I want to buy another one, but they fetch stupid money. If you've got one, let me know, I'll buy it. So yeah, I'm going to do a review on this kit because it's something a bit different. It's a bit different from the B2, the B1 and the B1, B52 and the Valkyrie. So have a quick look around the box first. But you can see on the front of the box, it's a Fokker F.1 Dreidecker Voss. So it's basically, the Voss is the guy you see here. He's the pilot, and apparently a very, very respected German World War I pilot. I don't know much about World War I. In fact, I know nothing about World War I. But yeah, so I was having a quick look at this earlier on, and learned a little bit, and apparently this guy is very respected. So it's a 32nd scale kit. It's a detail scale model for adults. The reason they're saying it's for adults, it comes with resin, 2 lots of photo etch, obviously made by Edard looking at it, and it's got this resin figure as well. So the kit number is 32003. It's made by Encore Models, Squadron products. It is still about. I've had a quick look online, and it is still about. So if you want one, you can get one. There we go. His flying was wonderful, his courage magnificent, and in my opinion, he's the bravest German airman who has been in my privilege to see fight. And that's from Major James McCudden. So you get 2 options with the kit. So you can build the 103-17 and the 102-17. So that one's flown by Kurt Wolf, and this one was flown by Werner Voss. So that's obviously the one that's featured in this kit. Can't really see any difference looking at them. So probably the same model. And then back to there's nothing really special on there. So yeah, there we have it. We'll get the box open, get the sprues out, and have a look. So on opening the box, we find a lovely glossy manual showing you the part number, and there's some history there. Hold that on the screen if you want to pause and read it. And it's a very, very well put together instruction manual, because it's got all the parts here. I believe this is a Rodin kit that it's basically based on, and then Squadron have added all these resin parts and a couple of Edard frets, even though it doesn't actually say Edard on them, it just says Squadron. So it's probably a pretty good way. It's like an Edard Profi pack, I think. So it goes on here, and you can see that on the instructions they're telling you to refer to other areas if you want to use the photo etch. I don't know why you wouldn't want to use the photo etch, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So yeah, there's the instruction manual. We'll have a closer look at that later. This is just something I've printed off. They give you the colours only in Humbrol, so I've done the cross-referencing so I can see the Tamiya colours there. I'd like to know how you can actually say what colours these things were in real life, because even if there was any colour photography, which I'm sure there wasn't, we all know how photographs can change things. And then when we look at all the different colour paints available, like 36118 for example, Ghost Ship Grey, you know. So yeah, as long as it's if it says green, paint it green. So you've got 1 bag of sprues, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues in there. 1 bag of resin parts rattling around. So there's engine cylinders there, and ailerons, and there's a new tail section in there as well. And then there's your resin figure. Lovely decal sheet, printed by Cartograph, so that'll be great. Again, Squadron products. And then we've got our photo etch. So there's the plain side there, which is unpainted but plated, and then there's the colour photo etch there with some dials, handles, a couple of placards by the look of it, and some seat belts. Okay, going through the instruction manual first, we can see here that we've got our call out, and then we've got the parts not used shaded in grey, resin parts down here, figure up here. It's got this resin tail plane to replace these two, because apparently both of these Rodin have inaccuracies in them, and also you've got a replacement cowl because there's a frame underneath this one apparently which the Rodin doesn't have. But even though if you do break that or cut it off, there's a frame in the photo etch as well, so yeah, you're well covered. I'm just taking all this from stuff I've read offline. So we start off by putting the seat together, oil tank, and then putting the engine together. It gives you the option of using the ordinary Rodin engine halves or using the resin engine with the separate cylinders. And then it tells you, as you can see here, see page 7 for optional photo etch. Well, that goes on about seat belts. And then here you've got see page 7 for optional photo etch. There's plug wires and stuff on there. Then we're putting together the cockpit floor, control stick, and some other rudder pedals and bits and pieces. Again, it's telling you to see page 7 for the optional photo etch. Well, that actually includes some lines going back. Then we've got the undercarriage, no photo etch for that by the look of it. Upper wing, tail planes going together there. Then we move on to the fuselage halves, and it says again that note about the photo etch. I'm sorry about the light, guys, it's glossy paper, I can't really do much about it, to be honest. There's a lot of photo etch going in here, and also you're depicting the plywood inside here, which you don't get in the standard Rodin kit, but you get a photo etch frame to depict the plywood. By the way, it's all these letters here, these are all the paint guide, which I referred to earlier as the numbers. You know, I added the Tamiya colours too. So assembling the other two wing sections here, remember this is a tri-wing, and then the fuselage halves go together, a couple of tanks or ammo belt box, whatever they are, going in, and then the wings going on, engine going on the front. And here you can see it says trim flange to fit or remove. This is also represented by photo etch, so they've got you well covered. Then just basically putting the prop on, a couple of bits and pieces underneath, and putting the undercarriage on, and then it gives you here a rigging diagram. It's a very, very simple rigging diagram. It's just some controls for the rudder and the elevators, and then there's aileron ones here, and then a couple of red ones here. I'm not sure they're for, I think they're just straps. But yeah, good use for easy line there. And then here we go into the photo etch assembly guide, which is, as you can see, it's got Edard written all over it, and it just goes on about adding all the photo etch. You've got the cooling jacket for the machine gun, some little bits and pieces. This is where the cables will go through, so that's going to be really nice because you actually drill through there, and then all you do is you drop a CA glue in the hole, dip your line in the activator, and bang, off you go. Plug it, put it in, it's there. Listen to me, look, sound like I know what I'm talking about. I've never built one of these kits. And then here, like I say, we've got the cockpit lining going in here. This is plywood, and then some more details going on here. There's a placard there for the engine. The part here, which is, I looked at that on the photo etch earlier, that's actually like some stitching holding the canvas together around the frame. And then we move on to the painting guide, and yeah, it's got this it says light blue all over, and then it's all streaked with green. Now please add in the comments, I don't know what this is all about. I've had a look online, I can't seem to find too much about it. Did they literally just paint the aircraft light blue and then get big brushes and streak green paint on it to try and save green paint? I know that green paint was scarce in the Second World War? Was it even worse in the First? So please let me know. And then we've got the resin figure here with the painting instructions, again all in Humbrol. And these are the commendations that he earned: Iron Cross, Pilot's Badge, Iron Cross, Cross of the Order of the House of Hohenzollern, and Pour le Mérite. Well, that sounds like French. So yeah, pretty pretty good pilot. And then on the back here, hold this up so you can read it if you want to. You can pause. But they've basically, it's the very highest praise from your opponents. The very highest praise is that from your opponents. So yeah, you can see that there. And this is what they've printed. Apparently this was an actual letter written about him. Okay, so yeah, there's the instruction manual. Let's have a look at the parts. Right, so I've got the sprues all out of bags now. Here's one of the main sprues, C. Some lovely moulding. It's there's a bit of flash here and there, but you know, we're modelers. Some big ejector pin marks in here, which will have to come out. They're raised, so they chop off the Z-pin part and then sand them down, they'll be fine. Some very fine cockpit framing there. It's extremely fine. I'd say that's possibly even less than 1 millimetre in diameter, that there. But it's very crisply moulded. As I say, tiny bit of flash, but you know, you need to get rid of the seam line there anyway from the mould seam. And from what I can see on the instructions, this prop and this elevator isn't used. That's it on that sprue, the unused parts. But no, it's all nice. Is that a sink mark there? Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. It's got a sink mark on the back of the ejector pin mark, so, and it's got the same there as well. So not only have you got an ejector pin mark to deal with, because they've left the Z-pin mold on there, you've got a sink mark behind it. But the thing is, I don't think it's going to matter too much. It's a World War I aircraft, for God's sake. It's certainly not the quality of Widnut wings from what I've seen online, but it's also not the price. So here we've got the engine sprue. I assume most of this, except the guns, aren't going to be used. And I'm looking here, I wonder if they've supplied these guns already sort of prepared for photo etch. It looks like they probably are. Pretty cool, that. Saves you having to remove all this plastic, and also gives you them for the spares bin. There's two of this sprue, basically because your wheels are on there. You've got your ailerons here, which I don't think you're going to use because you've got the resin ones. You've got the stays there, the wing stays, wing supports. Wheels and tyres. I don't know, I guess these tyres were solid. I suppose they wouldn't be flat spotted. Were they solid or did they have air in them? I don't know. Please tell me in the comments. And there's just the other sprue there, which is the same as that one. And then we've got the wing surfaces, which have got some nice gentle fabric detail on there. It's not over the top. There's some mould marks there, which will have to be sanded out. And then there's the upper fuselage section. I know that's got a resin replacement. So yeah, according to this one, it's just that part that isn't used on this sprue. That part there. But no, it's all very nice, really. You know, when you consider it's basically a fabric covered frame, so you know the soft moulding doesn't really matter. The mould marks don't really matter. I assume sink marks don't really matter to a certain extent, but where it needs to be, like with that cockpit interior framing, it's crisp. Neither of these are used. I did read something about apparently this panel here in the middle is recessed, and it shouldn't be. So neither of those are used, and also the cowling isn't used, and that fin isn't used. So obviously there must be a fin somewhere else. Yes, there's a resin fin. Yeah, that fin has no surface detail whatsoever, so I guess they're saying don't use that one because of that. There's the aerodynamic wing section in the in between the undercarriage, and then the mid-wing sections there. So that's all the plastic parts. Oh, there was 2 parts here that were loose in the bag, broken off the sprues. I mean, you know, the kit's nearly 10 years, so I guess 10 years old, so you're going to expect that. Let's have a quick look at the photo etch. This is the unpainted fret. This is like the old-fashioned Edard where it had this silver plating on it, making it a nightmare for soldering, in my opinion. And there's the, like I said, I've got this across the bottom here, there's the stitching, and then there's another piece that goes across the fuselage. These are the frames, the plywood interior, some looks like it's like rigging cables inside the cockpit. There's the cooling jackets for the guns, throttles, plug wires. There's the these are the holes, the loops that the cables come through. Yeah, all very good, very nice. And then we've got the colour etch fret, which is nice. We've got the seat belts on there, some placards, some dials, and a chart there that goes onto the instrument panel. So that's very nice. Decal sheet. Try and keep it out of the reflection. It's beautifully printed, very thin, fairly glossy, absolutely, probably on those crosses, I think that's probably the smallest amount of carrier film I've ever seen on a decal. They are really, really nice. So yeah, not sure of the look of this. Aeromaster, and then Cartograph, and then Squadron. So our Aeromaster, a decal company that used Cartograph to print them for them, and Squadron have put this in their kit. I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the resin parts. Remember, always when parts are in a bag, never throw the bag away. And look at that, 10 years old and there's no loose resin at all. So here's the ailerons, they're nice and straight still, so no need for a hot bath for them. The other aileron there. Here's the fin. It's got some surface detail on it, but yeah, it's got sanding marks on it. Looks like sanded off ejector pins or something. I don't know if you can see that. Top cover. Not sure what's wrong with the kit part, but let's have a look. Oh, okay. You can see it's got more detail around it on the top. So that's the only difference there. Here's the tailplane with, as I said earlier, it's got no recessed area in the centre at all. Engine cylinders. Their cylinder heads. All looking quite nice. Cowling. With some nice rivet detail on the front there. This is the frame across the bottom that you have to try not to break. And then there's the cylinder block, as it were, with its pour plug on the back. Very nicely cast. That's all very nice. And then finally, last but not least, is the figure of Voss. Now, I'm person, but you can see that it's nicely cast and everything. And then you've got his coat there, an arm and a hand and a pair of boots. So if you're looking for some German World War I boots, better get this kit. So yeah, sorry about that. The focus is it's probably the colour of the resin and the phone doesn't like it, but yeah, I'd love to do a better job of showing you this really. Need to spray them in primer and then you'll be able to see them. So there we have it. That is the Encore Models Fokker F.1 Dreidecker 32003, and lovely kit. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more of this WW1 stuff, please let me know. Look forward to speaking to you in the future. I might actually give this kit a go, I don't know, we'll see. Thanks for looking, and goodbye.